Hey guys, so this is our second video here. What are we working on right now? The irony of that. Sign up still doesn't exist. Let's make that. We need to make an index file inside there. And now it should work. Hello sign up. And the sign up form. Here's the completed sign up form here. Let's see, what is it missing? The terms of privacy and the social buttons. Close this, open the sidebar. Open the sidebar here. This here is the social buttons that we're using. So the sign in with Google and sign in with Facebook right now. But these are pretty much the base auth buttons, and then terms and privacy. This is just a disclaimer. This is a tiny component we built here. That's entire job is to sit at the bottom of the sign up form here. What am I missing? Let's see. Let's resolve some of these import errors. Sometimes I don't know. It's kind of strange. Oh yeah, there's no more custom directory. If I move into customs resolved. Edit the customs also resolved. So it seems that's fine. It seems we don't have we don't have this email OTP at any point. That's what we're gonna fix today. We don't want to use this email verification thing anymore. We're gonna have to set that up at a later point, but where's the sign up form? And then what else do I need? Sign up form. And just like we did here with our policies page, we need to grab this here. I think this is one of the benefits I realized, like getting better as a software programmer, is that you've done things before, so you don't have to do it the same way again. So here, as you see, we don't need this function anymore. I'm gonna import this. And then it's going to be sign up form from there. And then it's not going to be called delete my data page, it's going to be called sign up page. Okay. What the hell is this? Oh, we have some other errors we forgot to handle. Like here, it needs the badge. It needs the badge, and that should resolve it technically. I hate reading this stuff, like it makes no sense. See, just have to refresh it. Here it is. Oh. Oh, it's because the endpoint doesn't exist. The endpoint we're calling API/auth/sign/social. I'm not sure what the endpoint. Should be printed something in the terminal. The model verification was not found in the schema. That's true. Gotta go into library. Catch the. It's right here. We have to pass in our tables here. I completely forgot. We're just gonna grab these ones here, format it. I'm gonna grab a little part of it. Okay, it should be good now. Yes, sir. It's working. Somehow I closed the whole Firefox. Maybe back to the sign up page. So as you can see, we have some issues in here. Primarily, turn this off. Let's close this file. The issue is in the sign up form, and what we're using right now to handle our user sign up. So we don't want this here. We don't want this whole process. I've had issues currently with this, so I think we're going to even remove that. We're going to even remove that console.log equals await client dot sign up the user. Sign up via email. We pass in the email, which is going to be in this user data.email object, and then it needs a name, which we created up here. See, this is sometimes why I question like why I do some of the things I do. It's like the function's going to return the name. Why am I assigning it to a variable first? User data dot password. Callback URL will be user data dot. Where's the callback URL? How are we using that? on sign up, what do we call the callback URL? I think here we want to do something like we did for the login form here. In the login form here, I think we have a, go to the login index, we have this validate search, which will guarantee us that we might have a callback URL in the route. And then once this tells us we have the callback URL in the route, it's optional, we can simply go in here. Where do we call register? Okay, well, I don't know. We'll just leave this blank for now, I guess. The callback URL, the fetch options, the image, the is anonymous. We also got to send a parameter for this. We will add anonymous user login at some point, but no image so far. How do we get this callback URL? Let me just delete all of these here. It returns data and error, and then we're able to, if this error is happening, throw it, and then just return us the data. And that's it, actually. Return us the data. So now we'll have this from if it's successful, plus a callback URL that will return for us. And then we have here in our callback, so we have issue here, data.user. What are we doing? There's a user. We're gonna say registration successful. Dismissible is true. And then here's the thing: we're not sending them back to sign up verify, but we're going to send them to their callback URL. Data.callback URL we need. Think. Oh. The hell is this? I use that as you search from, and then this here should give us the callback URL. Will there ever be a chance that we can like have the user fly back onto our page and potentially need their email? I don't think we would need their email. We had an old verification flow that was always so kind of jagged, so it wasn't helping. Value.email, okay. Callback URL. Updated values and callback URL. So then here's where I go and I edit register. Yes, sir. How do I do it in the login form here? In the login form. So where are we defining this here? That's the only way it's true. Just grab it from the search right there. And then we pass it in here with the callback URL. But how do we make it so that the callback URL will be a guaranteed string? This always goes to dashboard. Huh. Okay, it seems we got that. We got the callback URL in there. But what I want to know now is how we will get the callback URL format. Because if you see here, the way they format their thing is like this. You know? So constant, we're going to say location equals location. And then we'll test it out right now. Let me go read the console.logs for this one here. So as we see here, href, or is it URL? I think it's href. See if we take location.href. Okay. Location.href, this is good. This is what we want always. Which means when we're calling this navigate here, let's run data.callback URL, yes. So as long as we make sure, let's use location.href. Okay, we do not need to pass any search back to that page. Or do we need to pass context onto that page? Fix this here. Now that it's fixed, we can see here username and email. We don't need to necessarily send a search, but we must say, what can we send pretty much. I don't think we're going to send anything, to be honest with you. We're not going to send anything. Just return data, buddy. Oh no. There. So if the callback URL is missing, which means we didn't get it in the search, we'll just default to the home page. We don't want to default to the home page. I'm trying to say no. Or we give it a default. But do we want to go back to the home page though? I don't think so. This is the sign up page. Users usually going to get sent from somewhere. And then once they sign up, they're going to be able to go back to that page. We don't want them to go to home page. If that page is not available, we want it to be no. Or whatever, even undefined is fine. Which means it's pretty much not there. So we're going to say data.callback URL if data, if data dot data dot. If data, else we're going to send the user to where? What do I want to do here exactly? We're going to send them to the callback URL here if we have this data object. But what's weird about this data object is that, oh, where is it? Oh, this function is going to give me back the callback URL. I don't understand how that makes any sense. I can implement this in the future. This is something we learned before. Is this thing joking, bro? What's going on? I'm still realizing that I haven't built the route handler for the sign up yet, which I must do here. Oh yeah. Oh yeah, it's time to get excited, my boys. There is no need really for middleware, to be honest with you. Oh no. Let me make the post request. Doesn't work yet. Okay, we have the request object. Now let's check our login page. That's strange. Ah, the endpoint is in here. There is no endpoint for login. Let's try see, is it going to work? Bing! Error. Let's check the terminal, man. What's wrong? Cookies.max age should not be greater than 400 days. That's my fault. That's my fault. My fault. 60 times 5. Weird. They use 300. I use 60 times 5, so we'll see. 5 minutes. What else? That's it. I'll pin this hotkey to this thing. Cannot be shift letter because that's just stopping us. Yeah, control A is better. Hope for the best, guys. Fingers crossed. Maybe something glitched in that cookies.max age shouldn't be signing attempt to existing. Like, look at this. Huh? If it defaults to 5 minutes, we don't need that. Like, this literally isn't even on right now, buddy. Huh? This also probably defaults to 5 minutes, so I'm overriding it. This also we must improve. Yeah, once again, I need to override the defaults. And then how much is the fresh age? I can even tweak this here. Will that work? I see it worked. So now we have sign up. Let's do login. And then it's going to be about the same as here. We don't need server handlers to sign up. Like I told you, building blocks. I did it before already. So we can just run it through. Let's see. What are the components? And then what's wrong? This one here needs checkbox. There. Actually, the thing about login form is, unlike the sign-in form here, it might need a callback URL. This page is sending it. Function login form, import from .before, and let's see. Yeah, as you see, not much really different. And the forms is just a simpler form, pretty much. What email did I just sign up with? 2, 3, 4. See, it's the previous time we set this. But we want to go to where? Nowhere yet, but let's try. We gotta configure here the dashboard. But as you see, successful sign-in with no callback URL because it was not provided. And the same user object, Lucky Panther 711. So now that we're signed in, let's try that. Go to this chat point. I wonder what I'm doing here. That's what's blocking me. That middleware. It obviously can't be after the throw. I wonder what's wrong. Maybe it's something in their fetch options. Oh no, actually, this runs on the server. It doesn't run on the client. It doesn't run on the server, it runs on the client. So get session. They have a whole session page, I think. Yeah. That's literally the problem. This is on the server. It's not on the. We gotta pass it in the request headers here. I think. Yeah, we're passing in the request headers here. So let's see. What should possibly go wrong here? So what methods does this return? Data.session and data.user. So why won't you let me deconstruct this? Gotta figure this out. Let's comment that out for now. And let's console.log the data and let's see if it's doing something. It is doing something. Let's make this live and let's see data. I think they had a method found. Okay. It's not even printing anything. Headers, and let's do it like, no, let's close that. Let's do json.stringify, and let's do this. Let's give it a none, let's give it a 2 to help possibly clean it up. And there we go. So it does have the request object, host, the user agent, the accept, has the cookies. So what's the problem here? Let's try this session thing. Yeah. See that? Create.disable cookie. Good. These things, man. These things, man. Let's see. So now we should have the session object. If session console.log session. Let's see if it runs. Let's see. What's the problem? There's nothing in the terminal. Like, it's not returning anything, bro. Let's just see if it's just gonna print that data by itself. It's also not printing it at all. Yeah, sometimes I feel like I'm losing it. So I was doing the whole time with no session console.log. Man. Now this should really work. Okay. Data object. So we got a JSON.stringify. I'm gonna space it out. Wow, so IP address, user agent, expires at, user ID, token created at. So it has our session and everything involved in there. Last login method, email, whether the user is anonymous. So this is looking great so far. Means that we do have the session in the authentication. So how do we know if there's an error though? We don't know if there's an error. So we're gonna say if not session. Here is where we say throw new error. You must be logged into chat. Period. Now let's try. So it's passing it, but it's passing only data. Let me go back to that session object that printed actually. Data, so session and user. It was talking about session dot options and all of that. Session dot path is get session. There. So this middleware will now take the user session and like pretty much the user and the session. But if we have the user, do we need to send this extra data? This might come in handy actually. So we'll take it, close this.